everybody, welcome back to another video. And today is Sunday, September the 29th of 2024. And that means I'm going to review the BYU Baylor game that took place yesterday. And that's coming up right after this. Hi everyone, welcome back to Just Justin. I am Justin, and yes, I am going to review BYU and Baylor. The 22nd ranked BYU Cougars heads into Waco, Texas to take on the Baylor Bears. All right, so Baylor, they lost a close one to Colorado last week. I think Colorado's the only one who scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter against Baylor. I'm not 100% sure, but that touchdown last week led to Colorado tying the game and to eventually winning that in overtime. And then last week, BYU came off of a surprising win of Kansas State, where they kind of beat them by like a margin of 38-9. Yeah, that was not a very good game for Kansas State. So how will BYU fare against Baylor today in Waco, Texas? Well, let's find out. So BYU came into the game, and right off the bat, they scored 21 points. Yes, 21 points in the first quarter. I was like, what the heck is going on? You see, I couldn't watch the first half because I had a prior commitment. I hate it when they announce the times like a week in advance, so I can't plan out my day accordingly. But also, somebody else made the plans for me, and I had to stick by their time frame. So, yeah. All right. So Baylor came back and they scored 7 in the first quarter. So it was 21-7. Second quarter came around and BYU scored another 10 points. So 21 plus 10 is 31 points. And Baylor scored another 7. So that's 7 plus 7 is 14. So BYU is in a strong lead going into halftime. All right, so halftime comes out, and Baylor scores another touchdown. So that means 14 plus 7 is 21. I'm just trying to help the math impaired people out there to add the score up. And so BYU was leading 31-21. So just by 10 points. All right, so BYU comes down, they kick a field goal. Puts it up to 34-21. All right, so it's still a two-score game. BYU is still up by a 2-score. There's only been one team that scored a touchdown against Baylor, I think. I think that's what I read. And that was Colorado last week. But will BYU make it surprising and score a touchdown? No, they did not. They missed the field goal in the fourth quarter. But Baylor came down and they scored a touchdown. So they scored a touchdown in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter consistently. So 7 points every quarter. So that puts them at 28. And BYU still only 34. All right? And so BYU gets the ball, and all they had to do is run out the clock. And BYU runs it up the middle, probably got like 7 or 8 yards. And as the runner gets up, he shoved a Baylor player, personal foul, 15 yards or half the distance to the goal. And that just dug a hole that BYU could not get out of. So they had to punt it away, and Baylor had about 58 seconds left in the game to go down and score. Okay? Because they had to score a touchdown. They could have kicked a field goal, but they would have lost the game. So they had to score a touchdown. So the quarterback threw a nice little pass down the sideline to a receiver, but the safety stepped over and intercepted it with about 58 seconds left in the game, and that sealed the game for BYU. So BYU comes out of Waco 34-28, the winners. So they start the season 5-0, and so far 2-0 in conference play. Now Baylor goes to 0-2 in conference play. So how does this all stack up? Okay, so did BYU's offense show up? Sort of. Okay, they sort of showed up. Okay, so let me grab my app here. Okay, so I have an app, okay, on my iPhone. It's the Apple Sports app, I think it is. Let me see what's the name of it. It is Sports. Yeah, just Sports, okay? And so let me pull up some stats for the game, okay? So total number of plays was 69 for BYU and 76 for Baylor. Total yards was 367 for BYU, 387 for Baylor. Okay, passing yards, 324 for Baylor and only 216 for BYU. That's where they really hurt BYU, is in that passing game, and we'll get to that in a minute. Rushing yards. BYU, 151 rushing yards. Baylor, 63. And both teams had 2 interceptions. BYU had 50 penalty yards, and Baylor only had 45. Okay, so the BYU offense did show up. Okay, they did score 21 points. Boom, just like that. And 31 points total in the first half. Second half, I don't know what happened to the offense, but they didn't show up fully for that second half. They only were able to muster up 3 points. All right, so they've got to do some things here in this bye week. Yeah, BYU's got a bye week next week. They have to do some things to step up their offensive game. All right, and we'll go into that, and I will go into that in a minute. All right, so did the defense show up? Yes, the defense did show up for the rushing game, only holding them to 63 yards rushing. But what really killed BYU is the short passing game. All right? That's how Baylor went down and scored touchdowns, with the short passing games. All right, and then they hit some good passing downfield. The BYU defense is still solid, except for that one weakness is in the backfield. And the defensive backfield, the cornerbacks and the safeties. So they've got to step it up, because Arizona is in 2 weeks, and Arizona went into the University of Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadiums and beat the Utes. Okay, so let's get into the passing game for BYU. They've got to do something, because Davis on Arizona is a madhouse. He broke up so many passes yesterday. He was one of the main reasons why Arizona beat Utah. So BYU got to step up, because Arizona comes into Provo, and it's going to be a good game. But BYU's offense have got to step it up. All right, so Baylor, they are a good team. Okay, they played hard last week against Colorado, and this week they played hard against BYU. Yes, BYU was up ahead. They just jumped ahead. And Baylor was trying to chip away at that lead, but it was just too much for them to chip away at, and time ran out on them. So it was a good game. I wish I could have gone to the game, but like I said, I had a prior commitment, and my wife wouldn't let me go because I don't have a job yet. Yes, I did get laid off in the end of June, and the market out there is really rough. So if you know anything, let me know. All right? So, yes, Baylor is going to be a good football team, I think, but they've got a long road ahead of them here in the Big 12, and BYU is making a statement. They do have a chip on their shoulder. So far, they have won 5 games. So, yeah, it's predicted that BYU would win 5 games and lose 7. So let's see how 2 weeks goes, okay? I don't want to jinx it or anything, but BYU's got to step it up on their offense, because Davis is all over that field. All right, guys. So Arizona is in 2 weeks. I don't know the time because, of course, they don't announce it. They just have games for next week they announce the times for, but BYU doesn't play next week. So, yes, that is it for my review on the BYU Baylor game played yesterday on September the 28th of 2024. And if you really like this video, give it a thumbs up. It would really push it out to more people who like it, and maybe more people in the Big 12. All right, and also, if you want to, subscribe to the channel because I've got some videos coming out here. I do some BYU reviews, and I talk about a carnivore diet, and I have a Cooking with Justin channel as well, but that series might be pushed until the beginning of next year because I'm doing a carnivore diet right now. It's fluctuating. You'll have to just wait until next week and see my Friday video. That's why you need to subscribe and hit that bell notification. All right, and if you have any comments at all, leave them down below, and I will go ahead and see what we can talk about. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end, and I appreciate all of you for watching. And until the next one, I will see you later. Bye. Oh, yeah. Go Cougs.